Moving on, NASA heads back to the moon Friday night, launching the brand new rocket from Virginia with an unmanned lunar probe called Laddie on board. Laddie will circle the moon to collect dust that flies away from the lunar surface. Winston E. Scott is a former astronaut and now a dean of the College of Aeronautics at Florida Institute of Technology, and he joins us via Skype. Thank you, Dr. Scott, so much for being here with us.
All right. Okay.
You know what? I guess the first obvious question is, we've been to the moon. We've been there several times. Why are we going back?
And was that question for me? This is Winston Scott.
Yes, it is for you.
Hi, I didn't realize I was on the air, but good afternoon.
Well, you're on.
Oh, well, that sounds good to me. And first of all, it's a pleasure. I appreciate the opportunity to be able to share some thoughts with the audience this afternoon. Why go back to the moon? The answer, quite frankly, is because we didn't learn all we need to know from the first few times that we went to the moon. There's so much about the moon that we don't know. For example, we have all been taught heretofore that the moon had no atmosphere. Well, now scientists are telling us that the moon does indeed have an atmosphere, and that's the purpose for launching this unmanned probe that's going to go off tonight, so that we learn a little bit more about the lunar atmosphere.
And how will we be able to apply the information that we acquire with this expedition?
Actually, we'll apply it the same as we apply other things, and that's a good question. People wonder about that. The reason we explore space and explore the planets is not so much because they're there and we want to learn about them, but they tell us so much about the evolution of the solar system, the evolution of our own planet, and if we understand how the solar system and the planets evolved, we can better predict what's going to happen to the solar system and our own planet in the future. Because our planet is our home, we want to understand what's happening to it, and therefore we can better take care of it, and we can better take care of ourselves as citizens of the planet Earth.
You know, and this is going to be very interesting information, I personally think, but there's been a lot of talk recently about sending manned expeditions to Mars. Will the information we learn here help us on that quest?
Well, we certainly hope so. And in terms of sending people off to Mars, the idea of going to the moon first is that we learn how to sort of live off the land, the in situ living. And those things can be best learned close to home, such as the moon, before sending people off to Mars. You can get to the moon, for example, in 3 days. It would take 6 to 9 months for a crew to travel to Mars. So certainly you want to enhance the chances of survival and a mission accomplishment going off to Mars by better preparing for it by sending people to the moon here. So that's kind of the idea behind the moon first and Mars later.
Dr. Scott, I just have a few seconds left, but you are one of the American heroes, being one of only 19 African-American astronauts in the NASA program. What would you like to tell young children in general, but particularly African-American children, to encourage them to pursue careers in science and technology?
I would like to tell young children a couple of things. First of all, careers in science and technology are the careers that really move our civilization forward. They're the careers that make America what it is, make it great. But the main thing I'd like to tell them is that careers in science and math are actually fun. The things you get to do as an engineer or a scientist are just incredible. They pale in comparison to the video games or watching movies and things on TV. So I'd like to see a lot of young people get involved in science and technology for all of those reasons.
Well, if your enthusiasm is any indication, it's clear that you are having fun. Winston E. Scott, thank you so much for your time. We do appreciate it.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
You take care.